There are still a lot of questions about the murders of 4 University of Idaho students and the man accused of killing them. The suspect, Bryan Kohberger, was a criminal justice student at Washington State University, a few miles from where those murders happened. He is currently in jail in Moscow, Idaho. Tonight, Dateline is digging into the suspect and the investigation in a special called Killings in a College Town. Dateline's Keith Morrison joins us now. And Keith, this case ignited a lot of wild speculation and false theories, particularly on social media. So how did that impact the investigation?
The impact was huge, first of all. I've never seen a story attract this much attention before, and certainly not on social media, where just every little bit and piece would explode and become suddenly fact, whether it was fact or not, and in most cases it wasn't. The way that impacted the investigation, I think, was investigators had to be just a lot more careful about what they revealed and what they held back. That sometimes created some misunderstandings, but they had to keep most of this stuff very close to the vest in order to protect their investigation. And, you know, in the end, they made it work.
We've heard a lot about DNA evidence. So what was the importance and the particular type of DNA in this investigation?
It was huge. First of all, they got very lucky. The crime scene investigators found that knife sheath at the crime scene. They extracted some DNA, touch DNA from that, and they sent it off to their lab, and it was a dead end there, so they sent it on to a genealogical DNA lab in Texas. And that lab did something I'd never seen before, which is they went through a process of genealogical narrowing down very, very quickly. Usually this takes months, even years to do, but they, in a course of a very few weeks, they were able to identify this DNA as a white male who came from a particular part of the country, a white male who came from a particular family group in that particular part of the country. And they were able to narrow it right down to the point where it made sense for the FBI to go in and do a garbage dump, and there we are.
Keith, let's talk about the victims. Part of the reason that this story has caught national attention, 4 very young victims in college. One of them, Ethan Chapin, was from right here in Western Washington. So a lot of folks in our area are going to be watching this closely tonight. Were you able to speak to anyone who knew Ethan?
Yes, and the Chapin triplets were famous around campus. Everybody knew the Chapin triplets, and everybody loved the Chapin triplets. And they were involved in all kinds of things. Ethan was a basketball player, a sweet guy who, he had many, many friends, and they spoke so lovingly of him. And what happened to him is just, unbelievably cruel. It is speculation, and I hate to speculate, but it is speculation to say so, but it seems likely that the killer probably had to attack Ethan pretty quickly. And probably did not expect to find him there because he was, staying over with his girlfriend, something that didn't always happen. And he had to get him out of the way before he could attack the young women. So, especially tragic, given that, he wasn't a regular resident there.
Yeah, definitely a heartbreaking story all around. Keith, thank you for your time. We're excited to see your reporting tonight. And a reminder that Dateline's 2-hour special, Killings in a College Town, airs tonight right here on King 5 starting at 9 o'clock.